Well, I guess it's time to get this little show on the road. I'm going to be posting a link to this particular folder. Inside this folder are just these few little commands. I have a help file here that has certain things that can be done with it. I'll go over those later. For right now, though, first things you have to do before you run this, and this is very important, you have to go down here first, and where you have this dragon, you right click on it, and you go to Tools, and then go to Options. I'm going to pull up some little thing here. Depending on your version of Dragon, this is Dragon 15. You have to go to Hotkeys, and for microphone on and off, you must put the number key plus. It may say numpad add, but it's got to be the plus key on the right hand side. And then you have to push this one, press to talk. You have to double click that and set that to INS. All you have to do when you do it, if you just pull this up, get rid of it, you can just push the key that you want and it automatically goes there, but this has to be the INS. You say OK, and you say apply. Miscellaneous, find here, appearance, here. Okay, some of you are troubled by that little yellow anchor that follows your keyboard around. Whenever you click on something, I get rid of that little thing. The anchor is right here in appearance. I click never show and hit apply. And those two things are very, very important, or else the script will not work. Now, when you first open this, these two are just a couple of commands that work with this. The Denise functions, a lot of you are familiar with my functions, but some of you are new, and these are the functions I've created just for Denise. Now the functions actually exist down in here. I've added a couple of them, name change, and maybe that's the only one I did added to it. There it is, name change up there again. I've got that one in there twice. Apparently I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. There are a bunch of other functions in here too. In fact, every function I come across, I add it down here into Denise functions. So manipulating thing is just a matter of calling on a function, which makes things so much easier. So put that away for a moment. The first thing, this one right here, you never activate Denise functions. That runs in the background by itself. Denise.ahk is the only thing you have to click. So I'm going to go ahead and open it right now, and it's going to say, look for my name and password first thing. And this is the name and password you use to do Denise, to open Denise. Right, and you say OK.
Life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it.
And the first thing it does, it usually pulls her window up out of nowhere. It grabs a hold of Denise and kind of makes this come up. Sometimes you'll see her little icon kind of yellowed, and all you have to do is just grab it and move it, and that goes away. So you minimize this, and this is the interface that I have. You have to have a resolution, a screen resolution of 1600 to 1900, because this, from one end to the other, is 1350 pixels. So if your screen resolution is only 1200, you're not going to see the whole thing on your screen. So you may have to go to your display settings and adjust your resolution up to the highest it can be. Now there's a couple of things here. When you first open this, it's going to open to a dashboard. It'll have a thing up here that says create a free account. All you have to do is click on that, create the free account, and create the free account, and then every time you open it, you may have to log in the first time, but it should just open up. This is just a CNN feed that that comes with DACboard. I turned it on. You can actually get Denise to pull this text back and read it each time it changes if you so desire. I can show how to do that later. Now, to turn Dragon on and off, you have to use Control and Space, which I just pushed. Hello, Denise.
Daniel, could you bring me some coffee, please? Good to see you again, Daniel. I'm ready to help you. Denise online, and ready for some fun.
Okay. Now remember, that is Control plus Space that turns on Dragon. And also, this little button right here, this is my O button. I created that to look like that. If I click that, hello?
Hi, Daniel. I think about computer programming a lot. I want to be the most intelligent virtual assistant in the world.
Okay. I had clicked this as soon as she started talking, but you notice it didn't turn off till she got done talking. I had quite a few problems figuring out Dragon. Thing about her window is this one here, when she talks, if you have Dragon on, when she talks, she turns this off. And then when she gets done talking, this comes back on. You've probably seen that. Well, the thing is, if you toggle this off while it's on, then it's going to get out of sync, and when she stops talking, it's going to turn off. So in order to combat that, that push to talk button, I'm going to turn this on and you'll see what happens.
I can hear you.
So when I push the push to talk button, it turns it off. If I push the number pad, it turns it on. So I needed a way to make sure that it was always in sync. And so that's what I did. Now that's why I used that push to talk. Well, we'll go through this and I'll explain how it works. This is basically an empty shell. You always include Denise functions. In any script that you write here, you have to have that line there. And when it first comes on, it writes a 1 in the settings file under Watchdog. I'll talk about that more later. You always have to get the key, and then I set that icon that you've seen right up here, that little guile icon. And these are buttons. These are just buttons, and they're actually these side buttons over here. They look like a border that lights up when you mouse over it, but they're actually buttons. And then once we do that, we create this little ActiveX area, which is this area up here. Let me close this. That displays Denise's side. This side over here is an embedded child window. Once it creates that little thing for Denise, it goes to her address at 127.0 blah blah blah, and then it shows us it goes sub DAC. Now this sub creates the embedded browser that you see on the right. This is actually just an embedded browser inside of a child window. Now, and it navigates to DACboard. If you change this address between these quotation marks, then you'll change where this ends up going. So you can change the home screen here. If you don't like DAC, you could put Google Calendar, you could put Hangouts, you could put the address to any place right there, and that becomes the home screen up here. Now anytime I want to recreate this, then I call up the subroutine again. And then we go to chat. Once everything is created, we go to chat, and that, I call that the watchdog. That's this little area here for chat. The watchdog watches this window to see when text appears. But if watchdog is set to 0, it's only going to sleep for a second and return back to chat. Boom, boom. Effectively not doing anything with the variable. That leaves this watchdog area available for your third-party scripts or your, I'm going to call them plugins, in order to have control of this window. The GUI here only has 2 basic functions, but the things we create with that, you're going to want to be able to chat with as well. So we control that with Watchdog. If Watchdog, however, it says, if Watchdog is not 0, then it's going to skip this and move on down. It's going to take that variable that it captured right up here, and it's going to put that aside for a minute. And that's going to create this list view. And it's going to read in custom commands.csv. That's comma separated value, but I don't use commas. I use a beam, because sometimes I have a line that has a comma in it, and that would confuse it. So I changed the delineator to a beam. I make 3 columns. One's going to be the trigger word, one's going to be the program to execute, and the other is going to be what you want Denise to say while she's executing it. So then what it does, it loops column 1 of that list looking for the key words. If that variable is contained in that loop field, it's going to break, and it's going to say the other 2 rows in that line belong to this. So this is column 2 and this is column 3. This would be the program EVAR, the program it's going to run. EVAR1 is the text that she's going to say. However, if no match is found, it's going to return the word action in EVAR, which is the second one. That's because up here, the title up here is action, and anytime it doesn't find anything, it returns that top word up there. So I say if it brings action back, then we go to label 8. Otherwise, we execute that program, and we have her speak whatever that other thing is in column 3. This is the command for speak from Denise Functions, and once it gets done, it's going to clear both those variables and go right back to chat. Now label 8, since it got sent there and it couldn't find a match, all that's going to do is feed that bar to her response. And that's just like putting it in our chat window, whereby if you have AIML files, things like that, those will still work and operate from that. Now, control space. This is control space. This turns Dragon on and off. Also, 2-button-0 is this little button right down here. That's just how I call it. That's the name of it. It's going to toggle back and forth, and first thing it's going to do is send that INS. That's that push to talk button. That, no matter what state Dragon is in, it's going to leave it in the off position. If it was off, it's going to leave it off. If it's on, it'll turn it off. So you know you always start from an off position, and then it pushes this numpad add to turn it on. That turns it on. And these just change. You'll notice that if I turn this on, I'm going to turn it on here. If I turn this on, you notice that the sides turn green and the button turns green. That's what these little things do. It hides one state, shows another, hides a state, shows another. And then when you click it again, the toggle, else, oh, and then it sets focus back here in this window. Else, it only pushes the push to talk, and that turns it off no matter what state it's in. And then it sets focus again. This is just a cleanup when it closes. This is button number 2, which is this button over here. 2 button, and this is this button. It has a little dash. That is this bottom one right here. So the button on the side completely destroys this GUI up here. And this button down here recreates it. Now that kind of goes through what's stepping through here. Have to bear with me for a second. Navigating this window is as simple as just 2 lines. If I say I'm going to make a new hotkey thing here. We'll do auto hotkey, and then I'm going to edit this script. And now I'm just going to go over here to the help files so I can just copy and paste what I need. We always have to include Denise Functions, so we take that, copy that, and put that right in here. And then, right here, this calls on a function that gets a handle on it and then tells it to navigate. So, I can put this away now. I could just say, paste, there. wget is a function that's inside of Denise Functions, And when it says, this is the class it is, when it says number 1, that's the one on the right. If this was number 2, then I would be affecting the one on the left. So once we get that, those 2 lines right there, and then right here at the bottom, we just exit at. Exit at. That way, once it does its job, it exits. Okay, these simple little lines right here, we're going to close and save that. And I'll just put this away for a minute. Now, when I double click this, I just changed everything here to Google. And here you've got, for your Gmail, you've got, yeah, I'd have to sign in for that. You right click and go back. You've got your stuff here that it works. Now, this bottom button, it will take you right back to your home screen. And what it really did was it destroyed it and recreated it, which you could just navigate to it if you wanted to. Button on the left kills it. And this is like there's no GUI here now. This is just total dead space. So if you try to navigate, I'll show you what's going to happen. It's going to say nothing. It's going to, screw up there. So we're going to close that. So you always have to have a GUI present to navigate it.
You can add your custom questions and answers by speaking Learn mode.
As long as you have a browser here, then you can navigate it. If you kill the browser, there's nothing to navigate, and that's going to screw up. But see, now that it's there, I can go back to it. I can go back to my home screen. If I kill it, then you would have to go back to this one, click that to come back on. Those items are actually mentioned right up here. If you use Control-Click, button 1, Denise, this will reload the embedded browser. Button 2 will destroy it, and button 7 turns Dragon off. So we'll leave that for the moment. This is going to be a little bit of a lengthy video, I can tell right now. So first thing I would want to do is create a command. Now, there is no commands here yet. So I'm going to just double click this top one right here, and this will create this little window here. And if you grab it by the letters, you can move it around. And I'm thinking this is one of the first commands I would want to put in to be able to pull this up. So I'm just going to say my trigger words, create a new command. And then, of course, I would want to activate that one. So I have to type that in. Oops, misspelled that, huh? Let's make sure I spell that correctly. New command. And for what I would want, for what I would want her to say, let's say, I'm just going to keep it simple right now and just say, okay. Now, if we wanted to add expressions to what she says, you can click this expressions button, and you can add these. You just copy them. They go on the clipboard, and you can just like put it here and paste it in if you want, or whatever. If you click 2 of them and try to copy it, it's going to say use one at a time. So we're going to save that, and we're just going to say, okay, remember, create a new command. We'll save that, and that's going to create a custom commands folder here. Once you delete those, the folder disappears, so it cleans it up, so to speak. Now you should have a custom command now. So let's see what happens. I need to create a new command. I'm probably create a new command. Okay. Create a new command. Um, the reason is because I forgot to put .ahk right there. When I say
Yippee. Patience is a virtue. I like to be sure about everything I say to you. Up.
create a new command,
Okay.
so now we can create a new command by saying that. Let's add another one. Let's say edit a command. And we're going to run, the name of it is customcommands.ahk. And for what I wanted to say, I'll just say here you go. And I'm going to put a smile at the end of it, just for the heck of it. Put a smile, copy that, paste it right there. And so, make sure I got that right this time. Edit a command, and we save that. Hi, Denise.
Hello.
I'd like to edit a command.
Why would you want to do enter command? Why do you want to enter command so much? I have no idea what to do.
I need to edit a command.
Here ya go.
Alright, and so, this showed up. As this fills up, once it gets full, a scroll bar will appear here so you can scroll down. Let's say if you wanted to change something here, like this, I'm going to double click that. That opens a window up here by which you can change and edit stuff. And then you can either delete it or you can save it. I'm just going to leave that saved. Or if I wanted to delete it, I click delete and that'll disappear and this will move up. So, well, let's see. Delete it. And now we got that one. So I'm going to add that one back in probably. The thing is here also, I'm creating a script here for action tiles, which I'm navigating to right now. Takes a minute to load. And this is action tiles. This can run your SmartThings home hub for devices you have that it controls to turn them on and off. This is actually Dominique's action tiles down in Texas. I can turn his lights on and off and stuff from Wisconsin, but I try not to mess with him like that. I think, let's go back to the home screen, click down here. Let's say I want to, here's one for Powerball. Now, we play Powerball once in a while, but I added it so it works with this. And all we do, we always include Denise functions at the top, get the key, have to have that, and it creates a COM object Internet Explorer, and it scrapes that information. I get the entire section, the inner text, and then I do a little bit of word magic on it here, so I turn it into what it says. But at the same time, I'm going to use these two lines I showed you earlier to navigate to Google search, just a Google search Powerball, and she's going to speak, And then this is one of the Denise functions where it'll stop the script until she finishes speaking and then move on. And then it's going to navigate back to my home screen of Dartboard. So, show you how that works. Where are we at? Powerball.
The winning Powerball numbers for Saturday, August 4th, 2018, is 3, 11, 38, 44, 58. And the Powerball is 2.
That's an example of going there and then returning. I have one here, Marcus Theater. This is our local theater, and on this one I scrape it, but the tags moved all the time. So I scrape it, and this one I get the entire body and bring it back, and then I split it with the words all now playing, and then I do a little more word magic. I can help with this kind of stuff. At the same time, here's those same 2 lines that navigate up here, but I just changed the address to this instead, and then it'll show that, but it's going to stay there. This is kind of one of my older scripts. If I double click it,
The movies playing at the theater are Mission Impossible Fallout, Christopher Robin, The Spy Who Dumped Me, Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, The Equalizer 2, Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation, Ant-Man and the Wasp, The Darkest Minds, Incredibles 2, Teen Titans Go! To the Movies, and Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom.
okay, so, but it stays here. I don't have it navigate back, but I can just click this and navigate it back. Not a problem. Chrome can be put in there. I'll just activate that for a second. This is a Chrome window. I'm having some issues about tabs with this one. Still working on that. The way to close that is going to be Q. Alright. And Skype. Skype seems to work extremely well in this. And in order to set a program in there as a child window, I'm going to control click button 2, which is this one. That's going to kill this GUI so there's nothing behind. And then I'm going to run my Skype, but I run it minimized until it opens. I wait for that. Kind of funny, the Skype, that's an age class Chrome widget win 1, but so is a Google window, so is TTV, and there's quite a few of these little Chrome widget windows. I use this particular set of functions here to set it as a child, and then you move it. These coordinates are always the same no matter what. If you look like here on edit, those coordinates there, 339, 48, 105. Sometimes you can tune those up to fit just a little bit better, but this is what I have for this. So now I'm going to open this and show you how that works. Open that one. So we got a Skype window now that's embedded, and it comes with the keypad. I can make calls, whatever I want. Don't have much money left, but video calls are free. And we can let that run in the background. I can just load my home screen up on top of that. I can navigate that one around or do what I want. And anytime I want, I can go back to the Skype, or I can just go back to my home screen, and Skype is running in the background waiting on a phone call. The only way I haven't found a keyboard shortcut yet that kills Skype, but I know I could find create a hotkey for ending the process probably. So I just quit it right here. And you see there's nothing there. You can't navigate until you create the browser, and there it is. I'm going to wrap this up for right now. I'll do some more on this. Sorry I haven't been around lately. I've been busy with life. One of the other things I do watch though sometimes is this one. Include Denise functions, always have that. Same 2 lines, but this was US TV Now. So a lot of times we'll use that and have Skype behind, so if somebody calls, it jumps forward. the TV one. And this is free too. You have to sign in. I'm not going to bother with it right now, but it's these top 6 channels are free from up here, and you just click on them and you can watch them. But like I said, I'm going to wrap this up right now, and because I got to get ready to go to work.